Are you ready to organize your amazing ideas into a powerful book? It's time to write your book. Welcome to The Right Hour, nonfiction tips from the right coach with Joyce Glass, where you can learn the business and craft of writing.
Hi, welcome to episode 506 of The Right Hour. I am so glad you're here today, and we're going to bring it all together for season 5. You became a writer, or you chose to write books to help grow your business or to create a business. Most of the time, it's why people write a book. You may have different reasons, but the bottom line is you want to make some income out of it. What about making a business out of your writing career? In this episode, I'm going to go over some of the things we talked about because all of season 5 kind of meshes together to bring us to this point of creating our own business. And there's things you can do to make your business more profitable. In the first one, in episode 501, I interviewed Chris O'Byrne with Jet Launch to learn how to use Amazon ads that can boost the sale of your books. And by the way, if you need someone to create your book cover for you or format your book, and formatting is the inside of the book, you'll want to talk to Chris and his team at jetlaunch.net. Now, if you have not listened to any of these podcasts yet, make sure you go back and listen to them. They are all excellent, and the resources you will find in each one will truly help you with your writing career. In episode 502, I had a fun time talking with my friend Susan Neal, and she taught us how to market our book to sell 1,000 copies in 3 months. Her simple and easy to use plan can help you with marketing any business, really. I'm using it to help grow the Right Coach business and this podcast, but it's also excellent for writers. So take a listen to that if you haven't, and if you have, make sure that you follow along and do the things that she suggests. And I think there's a download with that one. I think she did a download. If not, the show notes are really detailed. In episode 503, I had Omar Rafat on, and he is a new friend of mine from a group I'm in called 20K Nation. And he and I discussed what holds you back from writing your book. Often the underlying reason is not just procrastination, but you're procrastinating because you have this lack of confidence in yourself or in your abilities. And if you're struggling to start writing your book, take a listen to this podcast, and it will help you work through what is keeping you from writing. Many writers battle with self-doubt, fear, and feeling inadequate to write. Don't let those fears keep you from writing the book you want to write. And also keep in mind, every single writer has some kind of doubt and fear. John Grisham, Stephen King, Stephen James, if you know who he is, John Maxwell. There isn't a writer alive that doesn't write and at some point have some kind of doubt and fear when they're doing this writing. So the next one is in episode 504, this was so much fun, Dan Radden. He shared his revolutionary technology that is making the podcasting world easier to break into. If you want to host a podcast or record your book on audio, you definitely need to check out this episode. Also, there's something in there that's just been marvelous that if you haven't listened to that episode, because maybe you don't think you want to do a podcast, or maybe you're not sure about it, or maybe you don't even want to do audiobooks. If you want to do anything with audio, definitely check it out. But the coolest thing that he told me about is descript.com, which the link is in the episode show notes. It's spelled DESCRIPT.com. Descript. It will create really accurate transcripts. There'll still be some editing you need to do, but not as much as some others I've seen. And not only that, you can edit your audio with the transcript. So like if I mess up a word here or there or a sentence, I can go in and it'll create a transcript, and I will go in and then take out the words in the transcript, and it will delete them in the audio. And then you can download that audio for your podcast. It's just amazing. But Dan's working on that. Descript is not his company. Auxbus is Dan's company. Auxbus is what makes this podcast sound amazing. I don't know if you've noticed a difference. If you listen to my first episode and this episode, you'll be able to tell a difference. I've started using Auxbus this season, and the only other podcast, the last one in season 4, I just threw into Auxbus like it was. I didn't, take anything out or rearrange anything. I just threw it in there and let it edit it, and it did great. So I'm probably going to go back and do some of the others too, at least season 4 and maybe season 3. Go back and let the Auxbus it gives a smoother sound. You will notice the difference. Listen to anything before episode 406 and you can tell the difference in the sound of my podcast. So I want to also talk with you about episode 505. Edie Melson. This was another great one. She gave us social media marketing strategy to keep our engagement going with our prospective reader, clients, or customers. You want to keep it relational. And building relationships is the most important thing you can do on social media right now. Because when you build relationships with people, then they will become your loyal fans. So you will want to make sure that you check out all of the season 5 episodes that will help create your business with writing. But I've got some other goodies for you today. If you are looking at highly successful writers on the internet, you will see that all of them do sell amazing books, but they all do more than that too. They offer courses, private coaching, group coaching, professionally speak, teach workshops, webinars, and share their content on podcasts like me. If you want to create a business with your writing career, you'll want to explore your options. There are many types of business models you can choose from, but there's 4 main business models for writers that I'm going to talk about today. And what is great about these is you can customize them to your preferences. If professional speaking absolutely terrifies you and you could never see yourself doing it, then obviously that's not the model for you. But maybe doing a podcast is, because you don't have to see people's faces, and you don't have to get all pretty, and you don't have to go anywhere. You can just sit in your own house and have a microphone hooked up to your computer and talk and share things. Because if you have something valuable that you want to teach or share, then a podcast is a great way to do that. So the 4 different models are: the first one is a signature course model. The second one is a membership coaching model. The third one is a professional speaking model. And the 4th one is a conference model. And I'm going to go over each one of these, and I will have this in the show notes, as well as I will have a download that you can download on how to figure out which is the best business model for you. So in that PDF, there's some questions that we're going to go over in just a few minutes that you can keep on hand, because as your business grows and evolves, it may change. I'm doing things differently than I thought I would do when I first started my coaching business, which is great, because it is flexible for me and it works with my lifestyle. So that's what is great about the writing career, is you can try different things. Now, all of these can be mixed up. You can do some of the course model, some of the membership model, some of the professional speaking model, the conference model, a little bit of each, and whatever works for you. But there may be different ways that you're going to get people to buy whatever it is you want them to buy besides your books. So the first one that we're going to go over is a signature course model. And in this model, you write books. And you have books with great content that you actually want to put into a course. So you grow your audience on social media or through podcasts, guest blog posting, being on, I've already said guest podcast, being a guest on a podcast. And so you grow your audience on social media, which you also want to make sure you're growing your email list to have people to sell to. And maybe you're doing a podcast as well as a part of your marketing plan to grow your audience. And then all of that leads to your signature course. And that signature course then you sell 1 or 2 times a year. Now, I want to share some influencers who do this well. You may or may not know them, but I suggest you look them up, follow them some, and just see what they're doing and see how they're doing things. It's always great to get on someone's email list, mainly if their content isn't exactly geared towards you, but it's good to see what they're doing to know, okay, there's something that you can imitate in a way and make it your own. Obviously, we don't ever want you to copy somebody directly, but you can always imitate the process that they're doing and give your own spin on it because you want to make it personal to the people that you're selling to. So with this model, you've written the books, and say you've written a book about, let's talk about like health. So you have a book about health that you've written, and you're a health coach, and you're growing your audience on social media. You have an email list, and maybe you even do a podcast as a part of this growing your audience. And all of that leads to a signature course that you sell 1 or 2 times a year. And the course could be 6 weeks long, 8 weeks long, 10 weeks long, whatever it is that goes along with your book. And then what you do is you take that content from the book and put it into a course format for people to follow. And there's people who can help you do that. People who do this well. And actually, I don't think Amy Porterfield or Marie Forleo have books, but somebody else that we're going to talk about under the membership model does have a book. And Amy Porterfield and Marie Forleo, if they wrote a book, either one of them, Marie Forleo wrote books, but it's kind of how she started out, writing some ebooks. But her books are not related to her course, if that makes any sense. So, but Amy Porterfield, what she does is she uses her podcast instead of books to share her valuable content. So each week she is sharing excellent, valuable content. She is focusing on growing her email list all the time. And then a couple times a year she has a signature course that she shares. At one point she had 3 different courses. She's condensed all into one called Digital Course Academy. And that Digital Course Academy helps you do everything that she used to teach in the 3 different courses. So she kind of put them all in one because they all relate to each other, and it helps with that. So then the next one is Marie Forleo. Marie uses YouTube videos, kind of like Amy uses podcast. So she has a YouTube video she creates every week, and I think it's on Tuesdays, and she shares them everywhere. And then she offers her course annually, which is B School. Now, if anybody has been in the online world for any length of time, they've heard of B School because it seems like everybody and their brother promotes B School when it's time to promote. And that's how she also promotes, is she has a lot of connections with influencers to share the course. And then, of course, they get an affiliate commission. Affiliate. That's always a funny word for me to say. They receive an affiliate commission for whoever buys using their link, which is a common practice with courses. A lot of people will do that to help reach other audiences. So the next thing is membership coaching course model. You write books, you grow your audience, very similar to the signature model. Grow your audience on social media, grow your email list to have people to sell to, but maybe use YouTube or Facebook Live or Instagram TV or IG Stories, which is Instagram Stories, or podcasts as a part of your marketing plan to grow your audience. And then you have a membership that you sell to people 1 or 2 times a year. Now, this is great if something that you have is something that people will want continual help with. So, in the writing world, Jerry Jenkins has Jerry Jenkins Writing Guild, and he does his actually. I don't know that Jerry. He may have written books about writing. I don't know if he has or not, but the man has written over 190 books, so he has a big audience from people who just love his writing and who are faithful to him and just like him. He's a very likable person. But he's an influencer I actually didn't have on my list here. I have 2 others on my list. But all of that to say is your books don't always necessarily have to relate to the content that you're teaching, because like you see just with Jerry, he doesn't write books about writing. He writes books. He writes novels, and he's written nonfiction books, and I think he's done a lot of autobiographies and ghostwriting for people. And so his writing, he has the experience in writing, so that's what he teaches. So if there's something you have experience in, maybe your experience is in health, maybe your experience is in like me with writing and Jerry Jenkins with writing, or maybe your experience is in business marketing. Maybe that's your experience, and your book may be something completely different, but you get a following that way. Some of the other influencers that have to do with membership coaching courses is Katia Barboni. In her course that I mentioned earlier, 20K Nation, that Omar Rafat and I are in together, and Brendon Burchard. And what Katia does is she has a free group that leads to, she shares Facebook Lives, Instagram Stories, Instagram TV. She has an email list, and all of that, she promotes those people to her signature membership program, which is 20K Nation. And there's 2 different levels you can join. There's a basic level and a VIP level. And with the basic level, you get excellent, you get all the course content. She calls them sprints instead of modules. A lot of courses call their different parts of their course modules. She calls her sprints, which I like. It's a little different. And then she has a VIP group where she goes into more detail. She works with them one-on-one. I think like once a month they get a call with her. And then they get VIP treatment in the group because she'll answer their questions first. She gives them a little more attention and details, more how to help them. So and that's the other thing you can do with memberships and courses. You can have different levels because some people may not be ready for a VIP level, but they can get a lot from the basic help. So that's what Katia does. Brendon Burchard, what he does, and I watched his book launch. He just did, I think he said this is his 7th book that he's released at 6 or 7. And what he did was, when he was promoting the book, he offered this, and you've probably seen this too, buy the book. I mean, you can get the book for free, just pay shipping and handling, and you can get the book. Well, when you click on that, then he would upsell you to, hey, you can get the audio book, you can get part of this course, and you can get this, it's not a survey, it was the HP, the High Performance Academy habit test. I forget what it's called. It's some kind of assessment for your high performance. And he gives you all of that. Then that was an upsell for $29. And that was what he did to help promote his book and during his book launch. Then after the book launch, now that the book launch is over, now he's offering the book for sale for $29. It's a hardcover book. Excellent book, by the way. It's called High Performance Habits. And now you can buy the book, and you can get the audio for free and a portion of the membership program. and that assessment. So that is what, and Brendan goes around, I know he goes around and he speaks with companies and he works with companies. He does business coaching. I think he does one-on-one with, yes, he does some one-on-one coaching, and then as well as group coaching, like he'll go into companies that need help and help with a group, whatever they need. So that is part of what Brendan does. So his is group coaching and membership program, and he offers this membership program. So then after you get the book and you have the audios and the portion of the membership program, a couple different times he will send out emails, or it pops up on the page that you're looking at with the free content, or part of the course, that, hey, you want more of this course? Here, you can join us at the High Performance Coaching membership program. And he gives you the details of that. And then he sent a couple of emails about it too. So, and why is he doing that? I mean, it's actually very smart marketing wise. Not only have we already fallen in love with his content, then if I want more, I have a way to learn more, learn faster through his coaching program. So that is part of, some people may think that's annoying, but it's actually very smart marketing, because he gives you, that chance to get to know him, and then he offers you a little more and offers you a little more. And that's what you do to gain raving fans, is you offer them a little, offer them some more, and offer them some more, and you'll gain raving fans. So that's the membership and signature course model. Those are very similar. And then the next one is professional speaking. So say you've written a book or a couple of books and you decide you want to speak. Well, you need to grow your audience. And part of how you're going to grow your audience is as you go around and you find places to speak professionally, then you're going to be able to get their email addresses, have them sign up for something free, or have them, sign up to do a survey or whatever. That's something that you give them, and then you can get their email list, and they can become a part of your list and part of your audience, and eventually your raving fans. And when you professionally speak, then you're also sharing your books. Two influencers who do this very well. One most people will recognize, and some people may not know. John Acuff is the author of Do Over, Quitter, Start, and Finish. A lot of people know who he is, and some people don't. But he worked with Dave Ramsey's team for many years, and before he went out on his own. And he went out on his own, and he now professionally speaks, and he goes around and he sells his books. Those are the main two things that he does. He also has something, I think he's still doing it, called 30 Days of Hustle. And that's came out of the Start book, I think. Getting people going and starting in 30 days, whatever business it is that they want to do. Then John Maxwell, who is also, most people know who John Maxwell is. He's a leadership on authority. Now he also teaches thousands of each year to speak and use a lot of his content to speak. You can become a John Maxwell certified speaker. So he technically has a course too, because he has that certification that you can attain, and is well known, if you are John Maxwell certified, that you've been through some training to help you be a professional speaker, and you are hopefully very well at it. So that helps, with your sort of getting that certification, it helps you. Not something that everybody has to do, but it does, just if that's something that some people prefer to have some certifications, and it's great training. I had been through another training already with speaking, so I never have done the John Maxwell thing, but I may in the future, because I do like his thing. It just hasn't always worked out with timing and money to be able to do his training, but it is excellent training. I know some people who've done it. All right, so that's the professional speaking model, and you see they do a little mix of some courses in there. So not everybody is strictly one model or the other. Some people do a little mix of everything. and you're just going to find the right mix for you. Now, the last model is the conference model. And this model is, okay, you've written books, and maybe you want to teach people about how to write a book, whether it be a novel or, fiction or nonfiction. Then you want to be able to teach people that. Well, you want to grow your audience on social media, which if you're writing books, you need to be growing your audience on social media and have an email list to sell to people, no matter which model you do. If you're just plain out selling books and that's it, or if you're doing one of these business models. And then the next part of the conference model obviously is you host one or more conferences annually. And the people that I know that do this very well are Edie Melson and Diane Mills, who have both been on this podcast. Edie was the one that was just recently on here talking about social media strategy, and that is one of her strengths that she teaches about is social media. So they have the Blue Ridge Mountains Christian Writers Conference is the main conference that they do, but they also have Mountainside Novelist Retreat, Mountainside Marketing Retreat, and I think the nonfiction is going to be Mountainside Nonfiction Retreat. They have 4 conferences now that they are in charge of, and the Mountainside are smaller conferences. The Blue Ridge is pretty big. It's probably getting close to 600 people now every year, and it's a lot of fun. And then the Mountainside conferences are probably close to 100 to 150, maybe 200 people at each of those conferences. So a little smaller, a little more intimate time. Eva Marie Everson does the Florida Christian Writers Conference and the North Georgia Writers Conference. Bethany Jett and Kyle Young do the Serious Writer Workshops and conferences. So those are some people who are doing that well. They also do numerous other things. Some of these people edit. Some of them, let's see, what Bethany has another company that I help her with is called Platinum Literary Services, and they help people putting together proposals and editing. So there's lots of different things and ways that you can help people. Each one of these offers a way to create more consistent income without relying solely on book sales, because book sales can come and go. And so you're going to need something to fill in the gaps. Most professional authors are doing one of these models or a mix of them. I know Stephen James and Robert Degani, I went to their novel writing intensive, and they do that once a year. They'll have 2 sessions like back to back. So like last March I went to the second session. It's 2 different weekends. It's like a long weekend. And that was a lot of fun, and it really helped me. And that's just another thing that they offer that they do. So what you want to think about is what will work best for your lifestyle and your gifts. And some of this may grow as you grow as a writer. Your gifts may change on what you're really good at. Some of us have a more natural bent towards marketing. Some of us have a natural bent for teaching writing. Some of us have a more natural bent for talking. So whatever it is that is your gift, that's what you want to focus on. Some writers are terrified of professionally speaking, like I mentioned earlier, and have no desire to, on a consistent basis to go out there and be professionally speaking. But they'd love to teach a course online because it can be recorded videos, and where they only do like a group Zoom call, once a month or something like that. Whatever model works for you, and there's different ways you can customize it. But you may be thinking, well, okay, how can I figure out the best business model for me? And what you do is I've got the WRITE, WRITE is an acronym, business model plan. And this will be what you can download, and it'll also have the 4 different business models on there that you can think about and choose which way you want to go. And right now, at first you may go one direction, but as you gain more confidence and experience, you may expand and try different things. So that's what I want you to keep this in mind. This is something that you're going to continue to grow with. So the first thing is, what do you want to offer? That's what the W is what. What do you want to offer? Books, online courses, retreats, conferences, one-on-one coaching, group coaching. And R is reach. Who do you want to reach? Who is your target audience? For me, I became really clear just in the past couple months. My target audience is personal development leaders. Those are the people that I like working with, and I'm a personal development junkie, so it works out perfect. I can relate to what they're writing about. They enjoy working with me, and we have a good time together writing their books. And those are not all my clients are personal development leaders, but most of them are. Infrastructure. What is your focus? What problem do you solve for your target audience? That is what you want to think about. What is the problem you solve? The problem you solve is, like, the problem I solve is people getting over the overwhelm and knowing how to write, they understand the writing process and actually do the writing process. And editing, obviously, I help them with that editing process because that's a part of the coaching that I do. Teach. How can you guide your audience to solve their problem? Do you have a unique system to help solve their problem? Where and how do you want to teach? And these are some options that we talked about: courses, conferences, workshops, podcasts, professional speaking, group coaching, private one-on-one coaching, or counseling, book sales. Those are the ways that you can teach people things with your content. So then the last thing, so that T is teach. So W is what, R is reach. Who do you want to reach? What's your target audience? I is infrastructure. What's your focus? You need to have a focus and a foundation of what you're doing. So what's the problem that you solve for your target audience? Teach is how can you guide your audience to solve their problem? And then 5 is execute. E is execute. Creating content is one way you can execute this model that you're wanting to do, because you're going to have to create content one way or the other, whether it's for your course or workshop, your podcast, whatever way a blog. That is how this is the way you're going to execute this business model. And then you're going to want to market. You're going to market to find these people and to find more people. And some ways that you can market is writing a guest blog post, being a guest on a podcast, writing magazine articles, and always having a link. Make sure everything you do has a link back to your website where people can find out more about you, and have a work with me tab if that's something that you want people to know, or how they can work with you, whether it's a course or coaching or whatever it is that you do. Workshops, conferences. And then Amazon ads and Facebook ads are another way to gain some more traction with selling your books. That can lead to promoting your course or coaching or whatever it is that you're doing. And again, sometimes, like we said, like with Jerry Jenkins, his course about writing I don't think he's written any books about writing. He may have, and I just don't know, but it doesn't always have to relate that way. But that helps Amazon, people buying your books and getting to know you, and they figure out, oh, she does a course too, that's great. Then they'll want to take that course if they really like the book. Let's hope. So then the next thing is growing your email list. And like I said, whether you are doing any of these business models or not, or all you're doing is selling books, growing your email list needs to be a number one activity for you. And you need to figure out how you're going to do that. Through marketing, through social media presence, through podcast, through and obviously having some kind of lead magnet. A lead magnet is nothing else other than a PDF of some sort, or audios or videos that teach something that somebody wants in a very short content. It doesn't have to be, a 50,000 word book. It can be some people have done the first chapter of a book. I don't always think that's the best way to do that. For some people that works. It depends on the book and what people are looking for. What I have found best is if you can take a piece of your content and offer them. Like my lead magnet on my website is the 4 Steps to the Right book, and that is to help overwhelm and tame the chaos and overwhelm in writing. Because a lot of people that come to me, they're overwhelmed. They're like, I just don't know where to start. I just don't know what to do. Well, that is how you can help them figure out what to do and get started. And it takes them through a 4-part email series, as well as they get a writing planner to help them plan out their writing time. So you need something that is related to what you're trying to teach that leads them to the next thing. And so then the next thing for me, what I'm still working on and I'm excited to share with you, is I want to teach you how to tell a better story. So the next thing that I'm working on that's going to be available is 5 fiction techniques every writer needs to use. That is a book that I'm working on that is just going to be a short book with going to be an upsell that I offer when you sign up for my freebie or throughout the email series. One way or the other, you'll have a chance or two to buy the book that way. Then the next thing that I'm working on, and I'm so excited to share with you, and if you have any feedback for me, find me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. I get private messages on all of those. Facebook is where I'm at the most, and Instagram I'm there, so I'm good, but and I've been hanging out on LinkedIn a lot too. So wherever you can find me, or my email address is on my website under the contact page. Whatever way works for you. But I'm creating a course called Write My Book Academy, and part of what I'm going to be teaching is more in depth about the business model, but also the writing process that I teach all my clients. I know not everybody can afford private one-on-one coaching. It's not either feasible for them, or they just don't have the time, or maybe they're not there yet for private coaching, but they'd like to learn the process and start on their own. And that's what this course will be for, is the Write My Book Academy will help you start the writing process and get your content organized and start writing the chapters. And then similar to what Katia has, I'll have a VIP level where if you want to work with me on one-on-one, we'll do that too. So you'll get the course and be working with me one-on-one. So that's something that I will be hopefully have ready by September. I would love to hear from some of you if you have any suggestions of what you would like in that kind of course. I kind of know, I'm pretty clear on what I want to teach, but if there's something I need to go into more depth, if there's something I need to teach differently, I want to hear from you. So please feel free to, contact me one way or the other through social media, like email, any of those ways would be great. I would love to hear from you. And so that is it for today, but we do have a break. This is the last episode for season 5. If you've noticed, I do about 6 episodes per season, and then I'll take a little break and I'll do 6 more episodes. So season 6 will start probably in the beginning to middle of August. I've got a couple people that are ready to do interviews, and as soon as I can get all of those lined up and get going, then we'll get it season 6 started. So definitely by the middle of August, if not before, season 6 will be going. And like I said, I'll also be working on this course, and my plan is in the next 3 to 4 weeks I also want to finish up the 5 fiction techniques every nonfiction writer needs to know or needs to use, and that way you will be able to have access to that soon. So if you want to know about the 5 fiction techniques, make sure you're on my email list, because my email list will be the first group of people to learn more about the 5 fiction techniques. So I hope everyone is having a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you in season 6. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Write Hour. Are you wondering how to start your writing journey but feel overwhelmed or confused? After taking 4 years to write her first book, Joyce completely understands. She created the 4 steps to the right book to help you clarify your focus, create and organize your content, and complete your book. She shares tips on the writing process, and you can download the writing planner to track your progress and create weekly and monthly milestones to complete your book. You can sign up for the short email series at therightcoach.biz. That's TheWriteCoach.biz. Or go to the link in the show notes for the podcasts. You can sign up on the side pop out on the computer, or on the phone, it's a blue bar at the bottom that pops up. You can also go to the bottom of the homepage to sign up for the 4 Steps to the Right Book. Don't let fear and overwhelm stop you from writing your book. It's time to write your book.
Auxbus,